I think I'm a sparkle on the ocean, and at first I was like sitting on the ocean and I just saw a really bright light. I don't know if the screen changed, but my eyes got bright. My eyes are closed. And then anyway, so I was sitting and then I sank down and then I feel like I was a sparkle and then I turned into water and then a whale sucked me up and the whale spit out the water and I think I am the water or like the sparkle on the water.
Very cool.
I'm like, okay.
Tell me more about that. What are you doing now?
I'm just like shining on the water. There's like a little speck of light. Before when we were doing like the grounding part, I was picturing this old dead tree where I live. And I was picturing as my roots went down, I was like the new tree that grew up in the middle. And then because it's dead and burnt. And then in the middle, I shot out. And then there was all these leaves and everything. And then somehow I started seeing this sparkly thing and got there. And then yeah, I'm just like on the waves are just like floating around and we're all just sparkling. And I I saw my horse, like my first horse, as like a sparkle. And I was like, oh, he's probably dead. He's here, he's a sparkle now. He probably died. Yeah. So that
Wow.
was yeah.
So the other sparkles, are they beings too?
Yeah. It's like when you look at the ocean and you see all the sparkles, it's like flipped. It's like the sparkles are all looking at you, but they're all a little different, like people without bodies.
Very
Or
interesting.
yeah, so weird.
What does it feel like to be a sparkle?
It feels very nice. Feels good. It feels really fun. But nobody's interacting. They're all just shining, doing their own thing, riding on the waves or and nobody's like scared to be like sucked up by the whale. You're just like playing with the whale and it's okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what does this mean to you?
Maybe like it feels like a very present thing to just be all you have to do is just be and just shine. Like all you have to do is just sit there and shine and go with the flow or whatever. Like it feels like a very present way of living.
Mm. Very good.
I was seeing like the gold specks.
Oh, yeah.
It's like from the gold specks point of view.
So what do you notice there as you're floating around, taking the perspective of that sparkle? What do you notice?
I'm like on the surface and it's not rocky or rough. It's sunny and the water's really calm. And yeah, it's really like warm. It's just
Beautiful.
like a nice day to be a sparkle. Like
Very cool. So I want you to really anchor yourself in here, really anchoring yourself into being this sparkle, feeling the warmth of the sun, riding on top of the water. Feeling that peaceful energy. What are you noticing?
I'm on the surface before like I got sucked under, but like there's like no panic because you just know you're gonna come back up to the top. Like it's not like there's like no fear. Like
Mm.
like in there, like out there, even though the ocean to me is scary and I don't want to ever get in it or anything like that. But like, it's fine. Like, I'm not freaking out. I'm not panicking and I'm like way out. Like, I can barely see land, but I'm like out. There's no islands or anything. Like, so like I would be flipping out, but I'm not.
Very good. And what happens if the water gets a little rough and the waves start to come?
It just like goes with it. Like faster, but it's not like choppy or windy or like, it's just like very mellow right now. And everybody's
It's
like,
a good day to be a sparkle.
yeah, it's just a really good day to be a sparkle because there's no wind or anything. But like nobody's touching me or bumping into me or like nobody's like fucking with each other. Like everybody's just like enjoying their day to be the sparkle. That's, that's good.
Like National Sparkle Day.
Yeah, like nobody's like grouping up or like they're all like evenly distributed and not, and even when the waves move and stuff, nobody's like bumping into each other. It's just like very nice.
What does that mean to you?
Probably that people are in their own business and they're fucking boundaries and stuff, but like also it's like being maybe around like-minded people that are like just focused on like good things and like having a good sparkle fucking day, and they're not like trying to ruin you or like ruin anything. Like just like a really like good, like all like really like-minded good people or good spirits sparkling out there.
Beautiful.
And it's not like anyone's helping anyone, but it's just like nobody's harming anyone or like trying to hold anyone back. Like everyone's doing their own thing.
Very nice. What else are you noticing?
There is the sun, but there's like no people around on the beach that I could see or like land. There's no buildings. Like it's just like water and the sun, and there's nothing like, it's all nature. There's nothing man-made around at all.
How does it feel for you to be here, to be this sparkle?
It feels nice just to be around like other people who just want to have a good day. It's like, oh, finally.
Good. I want you to anchor into that space, really feel the peaceful energy. Breathing that into your body, taking a nice deep breath. Anchoring in your body the consciousness of this sparkle. Just being and shining and going with the flow. Really feeling what that feels like in your body. And remembering you can tap back into this space at any time that you want. That you are this sparkle.
It feels like the water and the sun. It's like how they like appreciate each other. Like with the sparkle, it's like because they have to have each other, but they don't need each other. But like once in a while, they have a really great day, and all these sparkles come out. But like, yeah, I don't. It's something weird, like with the water and the sun, like working together. They're just like happy, and then this can happen.
Tell me more about that.
Not like it's not every day that there's like a great sparkly ocean day, like it's not like you can't always work together, but when they do, it's like, wow, why can't it always be like that?
Mm. Appreciation.
Hmm.
What happens on the days that there are no sparkles and the sun isn't out?
The ocean just is there. It's just not as beautiful or not as happy, not as calm. It's like angry and
Mm.
like, yeah, it's not appreciating. It's not appreciating the sun being gone. It's like, I don't know. At least I don't appreciate when the sun is gone. Like, yeah.
Karen, are you noticing anything?
Well, I was feeling like, being out here in the deep end, it's it represents like almost like the people that are doing the work in order to, to not be in the shallow end.
Mm.
It's not shallow, it's not near that man-made shit. Like it's all
Mhm.
it's like you're earning your way to be here in the middle, like where you're willing to go deep, where you're willing to be free here, to appreciate, to that's what it feels like to me, as if like you're the more you do the work, the more that you're going to come into this space where you don't give a shit if you get sucked in by the whale. And I know we had this in a session too, that quote by Rumi again, you're not a drop in the ocean, you're an ocean in a drop.
I
Mm.
just read that recently. That's so weird.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's that understanding that you are, yeah, the microcosm of the macrocosm. You
Mhm.
are all of this existing, that we do need each other. You do need that connection, like with the sun, for example, or with other like-minded people to continue to do the work, to wade, and so that you can be free, where you don't give a shit about the whale sucking you up and throwing you back in or whatever. You're just going with it, going with the flow, riding the waves, letting life come at you, but you're going to be okay always. You're always going to be the sparkle, no matter if you feel your shine or not. You are a sparkle.
Mhm.
Um, I was seeing also like while she was in that, seeing her walking a path, it felt like also in nature, walking a path. Um, I saw a boulder in the way. She kind of just walked around it. It was kind of a difficult thing to see this, but then it's like she widened her perspective and was able to see that she doesn't have to be blocked. She could just walk around it. Like broadening the perspective, needing to see the bigger picture instead of just the tunnel vision of it.
Mm.
Because if it's tunnel vision, it's gonna appear harder. Whereas
Mhm.
when you open your
Mhm.
perspective, it's like you can see everything for what it is as an observer, that you don't need to take it. You can choose now. You have a choice. I don't need to take this as a problem. I can choose my battles. Um,
Mhm.
and I saw that there was a fork in the road, one in which it looked a super easy road, and one that looked like, like those dark, dark, shadowy light thunder and lightning type thing. But it's like as if you're always choosing to go in the thunder and lightning, because it's like um I feel like it's necessary right now for you to go through this in order for you to gain more freedom. Sometimes you have to take the harder path in order for you to decide that I don't want to take the hard path anymore.
Mm.
Sometimes it is necessary to learn your lessons, but then after you've learned your lessons, you're like, I don't need to suffer anymore. I don't need to learn through this suffering anymore.
Mm. Very good. Okay. How are you doing, little Sparkle?
I'm good. I went back to the tree part. I left there. And when I was like the tree growing through the tree, it was like I was looking up through the dead hollow tree, like a tunnel, kind of like Karen was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And then like grew up through, up out, and then could see, and then like the like the leaves and everything, like it was like 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 it's
Yeah.
not like you're not like I wasn't in that little tunnel anymore. And I went and I touched that tree for the first time yesterday. This is a real tree I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and it was like, and then when she said the thunder and lightning, the thunder and lightning in September was like really fucking crazy, and trees were like breaking, and it was so wild. And then after I went outside, and the stallion was like, he was like just going crazy. He was like jumping and like charging me, like not like he was like playing with me. And then I was like calling him, and he was like doing this whole like crazy thunder dance, and it was really cool. Like I called it a thunder dance after, because it was just like I've never seen a horse do something like that ever. It was fucking crazy. And so I
Wow.
was just thinking about that, because he's like my best friend, he's my neighbor, and we hang out. Anthony, and like Anthony does this really cool thunder dance. So I was like, I guess it'll get better.
Was he trying to give you a message? Why don't we connect with him now?
Yeah.
Let's connect with him now. Ask him what he was trying to convey to you that day. Let's see what you hear.
Like, oh, he's like, give me a pair, give me a pair, give me a pair. He likes pears. Like, he's like, give me a pair if you want to talk. I was like, give me. But like
Okay.
um like everything's temporary, kind of like, he was so happy it was over. The thunder and the lightning, it was like really crazy, and then afterward he was just super happy.
Mm.
You don't have to be sad forever, I guess.
So it's like he's showing you how to get through the storm and then to be grateful to be on the other side.
Yeah, and there
Yeah,
is another side.
beautiful.
I'm
You
gonna
also,
buy him a pair.
yeah, I think he deserves some treats. You also mentioned your other horse. Let's go back to the water for a moment.
Oh, okay.
You mentioned seeing your other horse there.
It was like he was just like a sparkle, like he wasn't a horse, but I was like, there's Lance on the
Okay.
waves. Like he was just like out, like not touching me, away from everything, in his own zone. And I was like, oh, like he's happy, like he's I can like see, I don't know what the fuck, but honestly I can see like a white sparkle like in front of me, and my eyes are shut right now.
Wow.
Like it's so bright, it looks like somebody turned a flashlight on at my eye.
Wow.
Like
That's cool.
it's really weird.
Is this Lance or is this something else?
This is Lance. Like he's
Okay.
just like he's just floating around out there.
Does he have anything he wants to share with you?
I don't know. I feel like he's like, sorry, but I had to toughen you up kind of thing. Because he was like really mean. He like bit me. He was like not a good like first horse for a little girl. Like he was 4 and I was 4. And that was like, I don't know why he was the horse I got, because he wasn't nice, and he would like bite and stuff a lot. But I guess, I did get to better horses when that was over. There was nicer horses.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. He's just there.
So he says he was trying to toughen you up.
I guess so.
Hmm. What do you want to say to him?
Just like, thank you.
Hmm. Very cool. Okay, taking a nice deep breath, settling back down into the body, relaxing, relaxing down deeper. Bringing all of your energy into the body, relaxing down, down, down. And with just a simple breath, you'll be even twice as relaxed as before. Twice as relaxed as before. Feeling that relaxation spread throughout the entire body. I'm going to drift through time and space to the next most important day and time that Cece needs to know. Drifting and floating. Moving through time and space to the next most important day and time. And be there now. Tell me what you notice.
I feel like now it's like that guy from the lake dream, but it's
I'm
that
there.
Are you there?
Yes.
Okay. I'm realizing that I had a dream with him before, and he was like in my car with me, and he was like trying, like he was trying to convince me to put. I remember this dream like really okay. So I remember he was trying to convince me that I needed water in my car, but whatever planet we were on or whatever didn't have water. And he was telling me that I could take the fluid from the food I order, it's like an ice pack thingy, and cut it and put it in the radiator. And I was like, no, my radiator cap is broken. If you take it off, like we're fucked. And he was like, just trying to convince me to do this. And I was like, you're not understanding. If you take the radiator cap off, it's not going to go back on, which is true. Betsy's radiator is broken. If you take the cap off, it probably won't come back on right now. It needs to be replaced. And he was like, no, it's fine. Like, just do it. And then I woke up and I'm realizing that that is the same person and like same feeling as the guy who showed up when I was in the water.
Mm-hmm. What's the feeling you got from him in that space?
He's just like trying to convince me that things are fine when they're not. Like he's trying to tell me that I could put fucking gooey shit in my radiator,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, no, no. I'm telling you that's not the issue. Maybe that could work, but the cap won't work. And he's like trying to convince me otherwise. And then like he's trying to convince me that like the maggots and the bugs are great. Like it's fine. Everybody's gonna be okay. Like he's like he's like trying to like not make me trust myself. Like he's trying to like trick me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's go back into that space with the lake, and I want you to view it as if you're coming into that space.
I just see it like I look down and it's the hill, it's dirt. It's not even like anything but maybe dead grass and dirt. I'm in the water. It's like, I don't know, like waist deep, and the water is like nasty. It's like dirty. And
Yeah, it's like toilet water.
yeah, it's like gross. And then like the maggots, like I could feel them on my feet. Like, and that's like it's like round brown things in the bottom, like I don't know, I guess like rocks too, but it just mostly feels like maggots.
When you look at yourself, what do you look like?
I look like me. Like I feel like
Okay.
me.
Okay.
And
And describe this man for me.
I feel like I'm alone right now.
Okay. So
And
let's go ahead.
when he does, at least like in the dream, what had happened, I feel like he popped up from like the left side and
Mm-hmm.
was just like all of a sudden there. So I don't know if he was there the whole time and I was just like processing all this nastiness around me and how it felt on my body, or if he just like appears in the water and then he's like kind of like leading me out to like the edge and we like
Let's,
get out.
I want you to come up out of that body and view it as if you're just floating above it, watching it happen. Just floating above the scene, watching what's happening.
There's like, it's so weird, but there's like, it seems like where a river would feed into the lake. And then there's like a hill and there's like a small cabin on like the left side. And there's like dead trees. I want to, or like, I don't, everything's just like dead.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, it looks really grim.
yeah, like, I don't even, like a drought.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like not like a fire, but like a drought everywhere. And there's just like the tall guy, he's taller than, and then like, and we're just like in the water, just like the two of us. But I feel like there is more people behind me or something. Like there's, or like in the back, like there are more people coming, like more people are coming and away from that cabin. Like you can hear there's like people around. Like I'm not alone,
Mm-hmm.
but he's like only fucking with me.
Mm-hmm. What does he look like?
For some reason I feel like he's like wearing green, and but he looks naked right now, so maybe his shorts are green and I can't see them, I don't know. And he's got like a big chest and he's tall and he's kind of darker, and yeah, he's got like that dark hair and like lighter eyes, I want to say like kind of greenish, and
Mm-hmm.
that like he looks like the Brawny man.
Oh my
Mm.
God. Yeah.
He looks like that
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
in
And
the head.
what happens next?
He leads us up and is like, you can be in here, and takes us into that like kitchen. Like I don't remember anything but just like walking straight into the kitchen, and we're just all like in there, and he's like just like leaves, and then all of a sudden like Jesus is in there too, and Mila's like somewhere else, and I'm like frantically like trying to get the bugs out and shut things, and there's just like
What does it
there's
look like
just
inside the house?
okay, it's kind of like a green light. Like the light is different now inside. I don't know if it's getting to be like a different time or if that's like, I don't know. It's like green, and there's the
Mm-hmm.
table in the middle, and it's like too big for the kitchen. And then it's like a wrap. There's like cabinets like everywhere, and there's a sink in front, and you kind of just like walk in, and it's mostly just like a kitchen. And then like maybe Mila's in like a bedroom somewhere. I don't see her, but like I feel like she's there because I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do here? Like, how am I gonna keep her alive, like all of us alive, Like we're just like sitting there trying to figure out like how people live there. Cause like
Mm-hmm.
obviously the water is fucked. And yeah. And
Okay. So again, there's something with the water.
there's something with the water. And then knowing that that guy's like, I don't know, he's not gone.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's like around, like he's gonna be around like in this little community of survivors that are there. And like I'm gonna have, all of us, like my family are gonna have to like now live there, like, and be a
Okay.
part of this,
Okay.
because but it almost feels like totally there's no other options, like wherever we came from is gone, obviously, like we're, what's the word, like desolate, like there's nothing else, there's no other option.
Okay. Let's close out this scene and rewind time and see how you ended up here. Let's go back in time, closing out this scene, just letting it drift away. We're going to drift through time and space, finding out how you got to this place. Where did you come from? How did you get here? Allowing that information to flow forward easily.
I don't know. I feel like that guy, there was a fire, but really he lit the house on fire and then like chased people to this place.
Hmm.
I don't, and like we got there on foot, like we left, everything was gone, and we went there on foot, like searching for help.
Okay. So who lived in this house that was set on fire?
I feel like I did, and Mila and Jesus, like we were like there, and other people too. It almost feels like he did this like to a whole little neighbor, like maybe not even, I don't know, whatever, like a little area where he just like was trying to drive them to him.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go back into that cabin. Karen, what are you noticing?
Well, I was at the cabin too. But I was feeling like an energy, like I was seeing Cece too. But what felt like younger, like almost, yeah, maybe like Mila's age or something like that. But it was like with her, what felt like her dad energy.
Mm.
Um, I don't know if there was some kind of weird contract or if he is actually this, it can embody this energy because it's like as if in this space I didn't dig too deep, but it felt as if like he had taken her voice, like suppressed her voice.
Hmm.
I see like it's shut down. So it's like I feel as though like when she knows that she needs to speak, it's a crippling effect on her. Like the whole body seizes
Mhm.
and she can't say it. It's I feel like the whole body like start to heat up, but she can't speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels
Um,
like someone's like crushing my throat.
yeah,
My sister feels the same.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there's something here with the father energy. And I think that's why it feels really similar to Chris because he embodies the same energy.
Mm,
And it's why you can't speak either when he's around. Like you recognize the energy,
yeah,
but you can't put your fucking finger on it. But it's because it's the same entity that's working through them, like
them.
the two men, it
Hmm.
feels. There's something there. Wait, what was the other thing? Like, yeah, there's, I don't know, as if it was lured or enticed or whatever, um but it was taken, like the voice was taken. That's like where the power is for you,
Hmm.
but
Okay.
it's like
Mm.
they can't because they know that if you are able to use your voice, the whole game is over.
Mhm.
Mhm. So let's close this out. We're going to go back, Cece, into that
Mhm.
memory when you were 4 years old and this mole appeared on your face.
Mhm.
We're going to see how
Oh, is
that
that when it fucking
happened.
came?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit balls.
Yeah. So taking a nice deep breath and relaxing down. Relaxing down. Drifting down. Floating down. Rewinding time. 4 years old. Allowing that memory to come forward. Drifting back. Moving back. Allowing the body to relax. understanding more about how this mole got on your face. And be there now. And tell me what you notice.
I just feel like my dad always like, don't pick at it, like hearing him be like, don't pick at it or whatever, and bothering me about it, about like touching it, because it was like a like a thing, like it would bug me and I would pick at it. And I just want to be like, fuck you, like I couldn't say like fuck off, you don't know how it feels, or like I don't know. And I don't know, like if I would have grown up like feeling more confident and stuff, like I would have stood up for myself more, even though it seems very vain, but like maybe I would have been able to be more like, I don't know, like I don't know how to say it, but like seen myself for who I really was, when like it was like it like tricked me almost. I don't know how to really explain it, but it like really threw me off, and like I feel like it lowered my like self-esteem, because then my dad was like yelling at me like not to pick at this thing, instead of like getting me help with like taking me to a doctor for it or something. And he just made me feel really bad about it being there, and then but like very purposefully to like make me see myself completely different. And yeah, I just like,
Yeah, it sounds like that energy again, like telling you something, but it's not like convincing you.
Gaslighting. It's
Yeah,
gaslighting.
yeah.
Yeah. Karen, any info on how that mole, was there an infringement there that happened? How it got
I'm
there?
seeing like it, the words that were coming through were like it was like a seed that was planted in there, and
Wow.
it literally grew into this implant, or I don't know what, like a physical manifestation of this thing. And it kind of like threw her off, so that it's like instead of her being outward, it became inward.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like she took it all in, like having this literally something on her face that was a hard focus. You can't not
Yeah.
see it. She could not see it. So it was like the focus was there, instead of her coming into her own voice and boundaries at a young age, was now fighting herself because this thing was on her face. And so it ruined her self-image, it ruined her the way she saw herself. It was a huge distraction. It was there's a couple of things that were happening here, like a belief system, negative self-talk, inner critic, all about her and not on the outside, because then that energy would have been called out.
Mm. So it was all to suppress her voice.
Yes.
Who planted this seed here?
I feel like that energy that was working through the dad. And it was interesting enough is that when it was removed, that was around what, like before you started your relationship with Jesus. So that family came in.
It was like we had met each other and then stopped talking to each other for a while, and it was like we weren't talking at all, and I got it removed, and I felt really good about my decision to have it removed, because like I made that on my own, not because somebody wanted me to or somebody would like me better without it. Like I was like, I don't like this, I've never liked it, and did that just because of me, not because of somebody else. And I was like, I don't know, I think I was like 15 or 16. I think 16, I want to say. And it was like it was hard to get it out. Like he cut it, he numbed my face, he pulled it out, he showed it to me. It was like almost like a little carrot. Like it had like, it was
Yeah, it
so
had a root.
deep. It did. And it was flat mostly on my face, but it went in so deep. And he did a really good job. You can't even tell now. But I had stitches right here because it was like, it was like also traumatic, or like I didn't want to get it out because then I was going to have this like thing on my, more of a thing on my face, like with stitches and blood. And like, so it was like, it took me a long time to like be, have the courage to even do anything about it because I thought it would get worse, like more noticeable.
Okay. Let's ask this entity man to come forward. Going back to the cabin space where we know that he is. I'm calling him forward. What's the matter?
He just gives me like the worst feeling in my stomach. I'm like, I don't want to
Oh
go
my
back
God,
in there.
yeah. I was like thinking, I'm like, oh, it's so gross in here.
Like, I don't want to go back in there.
Yeah, it
Okay.
reminds me of like what feels, I don't know Chris, but it feels like his energy.
Of just a, like, I
he's
don't
just
want to see
he's
you.
gross.
Well,
Like he's a slob and a
It's like the lower stomach. It's just like it's just like this bad feeling.
yeah. Well, that's your alarm system. Just connecting with him telepathically and asking him what his purpose is here.
I heard before I made that face, and now like I want your soul.
Mm.
And that's like weird to me. Like that's not something I would normally hear.
Why is it that he wants your soul?
I just heard I want to feed on your light. Yeah, because the lighting there is fucking wrong. Like it's not like
it is.
it's not normal. Like it's like a movie, like everywhere you look, it's not like normal. Like there's no real sun. Like it's like,
Yeah, it's a false light.
yeah. And then in the cabin, it's green. Like why is it gotta be like that? Like it's just so like he doesn't have light or something. I don't know. Like obviously there's
He can't make his own.
Yeah.
Why does he need light?
Maybe so he can shine and like get his like fake persona on.
So the light is how he puts on his fake persona.
I feel like that's why there's like all those bugs there. Is like there's not real light.
Yeah, it's just representing himself like I feel like as if this being also sold his own soul. So it's like he needs another soul to,
that really
like
that like really resonates like with my dad because I feel like he's sold his soul to alcohol or whatever entity lives in the bottle.
Okay. And what do you tell him?
Like
Cece making a face and being like, I'm good, thanks.
Fuck no. I was like, you're gonna starve. Like I'm not for sale.
Are there any contracts here?
Yeah. I feel like a cord, like to this elbow into like this hip. Like I feel like he just like threw something out, like a cobweb, feeling like almost
like a lasso or something.
Yeah, like it like he hit me like with two things.
Okay.
Or they showed.
Okay. Just detaching that.
Oh, that makes me so mad because when I was little, my dad would always like have a rope because the horses and stuff, whatever, and he would like rope your foot when you were walking, and it would make me so fucking mad. Like it was not funny at all because you fall, like you trip. It's not funny. And so that just like, oh, I just remembered that, and I don't like that. I don't like that game. It's not fun.
Is this the entity that's working through your dad?
Yeah.
What is
just so mean-spirited. My dad's humor is so like that, like that's not funny.
Yeah. What is the contract here? How is this contract created?
I think my dad's pride, like he didn't want to be like his dad, like he wanted to be better, like he wanted to look better, he wanted to have better things, like he wanted to just like he didn't, know how to like actually be a good person and have a better life, but he wanted things. Like he
Material
wanted
things.
to, yeah, like he wanted to like look better. Like, because my grandpa's like, I'm gonna have to get a picture of him for you because he's like a dirty Sasquatch hobo-y looking man. Like he's not, you know, like he's and his shit's all beat up and like whatever. And my dad is like so opposite of that.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's probably why you connect so much more with your grandfather, the Sasquatch.
yeah, because
Yeah.
like it's like, you know, he could dress up and stuff and whatever, but like he's just like a in his own weird way, like very creative with the wood and things like that and making stuff, and I don't know, he's just like does whatever. And
So this contract was created between your dad and this entity
yeah,
in exchange for what? What did he give to your dad?
like all the things. Like my dad has like every single thing he could ever want.
Mm. So this entity gave your dad all the material things.
Yeah.
And how has this, and what did the entity get in return?
I feel like him, like his like whatever was like left in, or like, you know, of like a normal good light part of you, like,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why he's
and
so gray now.
yeah, he's so gray. It's disgusting. It's like the walking zombie person. It's so weird. But like, I feel like what my dad didn't know was like he was gonna lose all the people like in
Mm-hmm.
his life.
Mm.
And then now he just tries to feed off of everyone.
Okay.
Like,
So the contract that your dad made with this entity has allowed this entity to feed
mhm,
off of who?
off of me, off of my mom, off of Kate and Tammy and his mom, and just anyone who will. My dad will just call people. He'll just go through his whole contact list calling people until somebody will answer. And he will talk like for hours to whoever that person is who answers.
And when he's talking to that person, what is happening energetically?
They can tell, so like one of his friends was like, I can tell he changes when he's like drunk. He starts acting different. He's like repeating himself. He's just like keeping me on the phone. And
Yeah.
like
If you can view, say, okay, let's view a time when your dad's calling you to do those things and he's on the phone with you. What is happening with the entity energetically? Is he draining the light? Is he getting energy?
I think it's like the energy because he's like taking up your time, because he's like just trying to make you feel so bad for him about how like, you know, lonely he is. It's always about just like him being lonely. And so he's just like taking your time on the phone, and like you'll be like, okay, I need to go. And he like won't let you, like he'll fucking keep talking. And I haven't let him do this to me in a while, but it's still the same thing. If I answer the phone right now, it'd be the same thing. He like will not let you go. Like I'd be like, okay, well, I need to get going. And he would
Mm.
just like 5 times until you're like, I'm fucking hanging up. And then he's like upset. And then he's like, oh, like boo-hooing that you're like, I have to go when you've said it like 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So view how this entity is hooked into your dad.
Ugh. It's like so weird. It's like he picked him up and like put him on
Oh.
like a sweater backwards, you know what I mean? Like, and then like put the head like as like if you had your hoodie on backwards and you like
Yeah.
put the arms and like the head on, and you were just like, okay.
So he's really taking him over.
Yeah, like fully just, I feel like,
Possession.
yeah, like when he wakes up in the morning, that thing puts on the body. And
So connect and ask if this entity has taken your dad's soul.
I heard like yes, indefinitely,
Indefinitely.
like that forever, right? Does that mean like forever?
Mm-hmm. Until he rescinds this contract. As his daughter, you have the ability to rescind the contract for him. So I want you to go ahead and view that contract that he made.
It's like a scroll, and it was like a normal paper size,
Mhm.
and then it was like it just like you know what I mean? Like it was just like started rolling away. I was like, oh my god!
Like
I'm like
sound
on the
effects, because
road.
you could see the sound.
Yeah, I'm like
Your sound effects.
it's so long.
So I want you to go ahead and burn this contract.
Almost the same sound as the Chewbacca. Almost shaking the water.
I'm just like throwing brush on it now, like in my it's just like it's like a whole fire starter worth of paper. It's just like burn this brush too.
Are there any specific contracts related to you, like subcontracts?
I feel like there's like passages like written in about
Okay.
like me and my sister, because what I saw on that first page was like almost like some old script, like with like a feather pen, and then it like changed to like typed in writing. So it's been like, it seems like it's a very like old contract that's been amended like and added to, and yeah, like it wasn't written at once.
How old is it?
I just like thousands of years old. I feel like it's like,
Is this running in the family line, or is this following your dad from life to life?
I feel like probably in the family line, but like him very specifically. Him, I mean, maybe somewhat of my grandpa at times. Like he doesn't show that side to me, and maybe his dad.
So this entity has had access to the family line for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Okay. And now is very specifically using your dad to siphon light from everyone around him.
Yeah. Like I don't think at this point, like today, right now, that he's able to like access his own light. Like he literally has to call people and bug people and tell people about his sad story to like.
I feel that's how the contracts get written. It's through those phone calls type thing. And it's also like, by picking up the phone, it's kind of like you're contracting in with him to have this conversation. It would be, yeah, good. I see, like, don't pick up the phone, like, don't engage, because
Yeah, I
it's like,
can't.
because the energy is still working through your dad. And I mean, I feel like it's trying to contract into you, because if your dad dies, it has to go into something else. So
Right.
it's like you have to end the contract.
Yeah. And like Lauren's not ever gonna answer his calls, like ever. So like it's not gonna be her.
Well, if
Yeah.
we burn this
Yeah.
contract, what happens to that entity?
I kind of see him like shriveling up like
Mhm.
into the ground.
Good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I see
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. So now, is that contract burned?
Yeah. And it's
Okay.
just now it's just like fire. It's like a fire going over there. Like it's just a little, yeah.
Okay, good. Now I want to view where your dad's light is. Where is it being kept?
I don't know. I just see like a black ball behind his head.
A black ball?
Yeah.
What's in the black ball?
Like the light's inside of it, but it just looks black. It's like behind him. It's like out of his body.
Okay. What does the black ball consist of? What is that energy?
I don't know. I'm like,
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah, it reminds me of an 8 ball.
Yeah. So go ahead and use your light to clear that black energy. Just blast your light at it.
That's weird because Jesus the other day was like, I want a tattoo of an 8-ball. And I was like,
Oh.
why?
That's weird.
And I was like,
Yeah,
that's
because that energy
stupidest.
works through him too. Like I said, when you remove the mole, that's when he came
Mhm.
into your life and had that family come in. Because every time I tap into that family, I feel the snake,
It's
which
similar.
is the same energy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What
Yeah.
happens to it when you blast it with your light and clear that blackness?
It's just like a little ball of light now. But
Okay.
it's not, it didn't get bigger. It's just little
Okay.
ball of light.
Take that little ball of light and place it in your dad's heart space.
I'm like, you owe me. That's how I feel right now. I'm like, this, you weren't even on the list.
Well, this might clear up a
But,
lot
yeah.
of issues for you.
Oh.
So put it in his heart space and expand it till it fills up his entire body.
Mhm.
I feel we need to burn that bowl too, the carrot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
We need to burn that.
Okay. Burn the carrot.
put it on the fire.
Are there any residual energies from that that are present?
Where the mole was?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like no, like the guy did like I felt like really different when he was done.
Okay, good.
Like he did a really good job and the stitches weren't as horrific as I had thought and like it,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I'm clearing out the space anyway, and I'm also gonna go clear out while you're doing this, I'm gonna clear out like your subconscious programs that molded to you, like because it's
Yeah.
holding on still of that, the harsh critic and the really making everything go inward.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I still will like pop pimples and like pick my face. I don't know. I just
I think that's everybody though.
I'm like no, like I had a friend growing up and she like never would pop her pimples and I'm like, what the fuck? Like why not?
Okay. How's the light going, filling your dad's body?
Good. I like put it in there and then it just kind of like took
It's so
her.
it's
Took its
funny
own space, yeah.
seeing you do
How
it
did
because it's like she opened it up, but it's kind of like when you're holding like something
Like a
like
little
she doesn't want to hold, like it's just her thumb and her index like opening it and putting it in and just shutting it like
there.
I don't want to deal with you.
You're supposed to keep your sparkle in your zone.
keep your sparkle, yeah.
Boundaries.
Does he look any different now that his light's been returned?
Yeah, it's kind of like we just watched this little weird Tinkerbell spin-off and it's like when they go get their pixie dust.
Mm,
So then they're like bright again.
mm. Beautiful. Is there anything you want to say to your dad?
Like I don't hate you. I just can't like live life like with you in it like that, Like it's just very draining.
Mhm. I want you to call back all of your energy that has been siphoned to your dad from this entity. Is there a space where your energy is being stored
In his heart.
in your dad's heart?
Like yeah, I feel like he was like taking it all
Okay.
to his heart.
Okay. Call all of your energy back to you. And as you call your energy back, it's not going to take from him. His is going to get brighter.
Mm-hmm.
So just allowing for all of your energy to come back into the body. Coming back through the heart space. All of your energy and consciousness. Feeling that strength and power within you. And as it comes back in, allowing it to expand throughout the entire body. Filling the entire body, trillions of cells lighting up, taking up space inside your body. Feeling that power illuminating your entire vessel. How does that feel?
I feel like now I'm thinking about what Karen said about Jesus's family, and it would make sense because like they came here from Mexico because they wanted to have better things, like all the things that they thought they could have and here, and like all the material things that they put like all the value on.
Have they also contracted with this entity?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how can you better protect your energy from them?
I feel like just like what I'm doing and just showing Mila, like things aren't everything. And yeah, just staying away from them because I'm like, yeah, you have things, but like you don't have real relationships with each other, like at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can think of, like one of them that Jesus like actually cares about Jesus, like out of all of them, out of like the 7 of them that are a family. And that makes sense why like his stepdad stays like around is because like he didn't have anything like growing up, and like now he has all these things, but like he's not happy. Like he says he's not happy, but like he can't let go of the things, I think, more than anything.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a program.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I want you to, again, view that cabin scene, and we're going to destroy that scene. So view it like you're seeing it on a movie screen.
Okay.
And then you're going to start shrinking the movie screen all the way down until it disappears altogether. You can add a split screen with that other dream you had too, with the car.
And
So,
just drink them.
yeah, shrink it all the way down till it disappears.
I was seeing that energy that was working through your dad. It's like when you were born, Cece, or whatever. It was like they had purposefully, or this energy had purposefully made you small. I think that's why you're 5'1", like me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because they want you to forget how big you are,
That makes sense.
like your Sasquatch size.
Like, yeah.
To be unworthy of that energy. I think that's why you saw it in the bathroom, your true size.
Yeah.
And then it showed you like your actual 3D size. And you're like, yeah, but you saw your real size. And it was good that you saw yourself in the ocean because you are the ocean.
Yeah.
Your true size it's larger than life. it's a good day to be a sparkle.
Oh, it's
Are you
funny.
able to shrink those scenes down?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was just back at the ocean. I was like,
Okay.
"Oh."
Okay, good. So now what I want to do is see where your connection with the Sasquatch comes from. So let's relax back down into the body, taking a nice deep breath, drifting down, floating down. Asking for the memories to come forward. And being there now. Tell me what you notice.
There's like a little family of them in trees, and they're just like together, but it's like when the world was big, like there was like big tree. They don't look big because there were so many like trees, and like the world was happy, so there was just like giant redwood trees, and they weren't like Bigfoot. They were just like an animal here, or like a creature, or more, or I don't know, like they were just here. And I'm just like there, and there's like a bunch of little ones, and like the mom and the dad, and they're all just like in there, and like feels like obviously like a very long time ago. And it's like kind of like, I don't know, like the dinosaur age, but it's like the Sasquatch age, like, because they're just like, they're just part of like the world.
I think this is the real world she's talking about. And I think it's though that when we were seeing her coming here in that spaceship, let's say, I think what you felt or what you were told, it's like you're coming home, but you were thinking you're coming to the real world, but
Like,
you weren't.
Yeah, that would make sense. Because when I saw
That's what it
here,
feels like, because I feel like you're really in, the real the true earth, the real organic earth. But then coming back in, you're like, we're gonna go back home, we know that space. But then you're not, you're coming into the false world, this one.
Yeah, because this is like not,
Because you're like, what the fuck?
like, no.
Wait a minute, this doesn't feel right. That's what I feel. But I see like where you're at, and I'm feeling through it, and it doesn't feel like, it doesn't have the overlay that I am familiar with here in this world. This world has an overlay. This one feels so good.
So what do you look like in this scene with the Sasquatch?
Like a little hairy Sasquatch. Like I'm just like a little baby Sasquatch.
Yeah. I was seeing that too. I was like, she's so furry.
It's like they're all brown and like furry. But it's weird because like the scale, they just look like a human size. They don't look like scary or big or weird. They're just like there. And they're not scared, kind of like the sparkle. Like they're not hiding. This is just their home, and that's where they're at right now. But they're not like hiding out. They're just there.
Do you feel male or female in this body?
I felt like a little girl one.
Yeah.
Just like little boys and little girls, and there's like just a small family. It's not like they're in a big group, but
what's your pronoun? I'm just kidding.
Sasquatch. But they're just like at their house, and they're not hiding though. Like now I would think like you're hiding, but like, okay, so when I was right before I saw that, I was like picturing my grandpa Gene, and I also feel like my grandma Peg's family, this could be true for them, like he's like a human in this world, but like when he goes out of this world, like he's not really a human. It's like this is how they've almost like had to adapt, is like in like, or like a hybrid or something, like because I feel like there are true ones still, like true, just full on, you're a Sasquatch, you're not like going into a human body or into like that. But then I also feel like maybe like you can have like a part of yourself that is here and there, can like switch. if that makes sense. And yeah, I feel like my grandma Peg's dad and like family was like that because they very much like lived like my grandpa and like with the land and nature and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
it's like really fucking hard to like be here right now because of the way everything is. Like it's really hard to have that part of you that knows what it was like, and then
Mhm.
you know is like seeing
Mhm.
this and you're just like not fitting in
Yeah.
here.
So what is it like there for them, for you?
Like there's just like always enough of everything. I feel like they're just provide like the planet is able to provide for them. Like there's water, there's food, like they have like comfort and can just be.
Mm.
Like they can just focus on their home and their little family and like that's it. Like they're not going to a fucking job and like getting in a car and you know, like they're just like, okay, like the earth will provide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there humans around or is it
No.
no? Okay.
Like it's all I like there are I feel like birds and little creatures too,
Mm-hmm.
but there's no humans because the trees are all so fucking big
Mm.
and there's just no way that anyone had fucked with it yet. Like the world is just like just nice. It's just
Mm.
still like very, very big and nice.
How big are the trees? How tall are they?
Like I think now, like the biggest tree I could picture now would be the smallest tree then.
Mm.
So like thousands of feet tall and just so massively round.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know if you've ever seen a redwood tree or like a picture, but they're massive. And I feel like these ones that I know were like the smallest ones they ever saw.
Mm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Like we
Okay.
have taken that much away. Like we have ruined all the trees. Like because they could never get to that size again because of like the damage we've done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is a day in your life like here as a Sasquatch?
I was just gonna ask that.
Mhm. I feel like they kind of just stay around their little group. It's a tree circle. Like it's like they're in the middle of the grove of trees
Mm-hmm.
and they kind of just stay close by there and they're just like hanging out in the forest and there's like water somewhere I feel like nearby and they like go there and they just have like their small little unit towards like they're not like running around the whole world. Like they're just like happy right there with the trees.
Mm. Okay. Very good. And so how did the Sasquatch get here on Earth? Did it originate from Earth?
Yeah, I just like they came from the earth. Like they are like almost like they just like like, fucking walked out of the middle of the earth or something. Like they're
Mm.
like just like stood up out of the dirt and there it was. I don't
Wow.
know.
Wow.
But I'm also seeing like because when I was little, I like really liked like tree rings a lot, and there's like a lot of them that are burned and cut down and stuff. And where I've been in life and growing up, and I feel like now I'm like that was like really mean. It was on purpose
Yeah.
because yeah, like all the biggest massive trees that are left standing are just burnt. Like they're just hurt. And now I'm like, oh, maybe they were like eradicated through fire with fire. Because how else would they like hurt them? How else could humans or being like they were so big
Hurt the trees.
hurt the trees, but hurt the south? How else would they have gotten them out?
Right.
Like
So
they had to ruin their home.
yeah, so you feel like humans ran the Sasquatch out of here.
Yeah.
Are they are there some still here on Earth physically?
yeah, I feel like there are some that like are like literally like like here. Like I feel like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like then there's like the people that can like spiritually feel tap in and feel like one part of them, you know, like maybe they have some type of like hybrid, but then I feel like there are like some that like still can hide out,
Mm. Do
can morph.
they also visit like interdimensionally?
Yeah, but I kind of feel like they have to be able to leave. Like they have to be able to like completely go into a different, like go invisible,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, because they know, because now they have to live like in fear and it's sad.
So the ones that Mila sees here,
Hmm.
are they, do they live here on Earth but in another dimensional frame?
Yes, like the one she heard, because like one night she was like, I heard the Yeti. Sometimes she calls it a Yeti.
Uh-huh.
She's like, I heard baby Yeti footsteps. But then
Mm,
also I just thought maybe that some of the things she sees or is feeling are maybe her ancestors
mm-hmm.
too. Like they're not really like ones that are here. They're like ones that are like coming to see her, like visit her.
Visitor, yeah.
Yeah.
And what about the family of them that she saw with the grandpa?
Like that, I feel like is her ancestors. Like when
Okay.
she was like seeing those people, like I feel like those were people in our family that could either like tap in or like way, 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 way back were actually one. Because
Okay.
I feel like my grandpa on my dad's side is connected, and then I do feel like my grandma's family is connected. So it's like on both, on two sides.
Okay. And you feel like they come to visit. Are they protectors?
Hmm. Yeah.
Hmm. Some people say that when they run into a Sasquatch like being in the woods, that they feel fearful of them. Why do you think that would be?
I guess they are really big. Like when I saw that shadow, I was like, oh my fucking God, like what the fuck is that? Like I was like, oh, that's a Targaryen shadow being that Mandy was telling me about. Like then I wasn't that scared. But I think they're really big, and I don't think that people know how to connect to nature at all anymore. They don't know how to be in, so like of course it would be like a fucked up thing for somebody who doesn't know even how to like deal with seeing a deer or see, you know, like seeing any animal, like because I really think like the separation between people and nature is like so purposeful. Like
Yeah.
so many people don't know, like, and I take it for granted because I've gotten to see and live in like a really beautiful place, and like some people have never seen things that I've been able to experience.
Yeah. So I want you to really anchor into this Sasquatch body, taking a nice deep breath and breathing in all of that energy, breathing in that energy, letting it spread throughout your entire body, remembering that connection with nature, that abundance, that peace, connection with each other, feeling that in your heart space.
I also feel like they didn't fight each other. Like
Mm.
there wasn't like Sasquatch wars, you know, like they really just like the sparkles stayed in their own fucking zone. Like they just were all like existing and just like happy to be existing and like really like loved the earth and just really loved like being here.
Yeah,
There
beautiful,
was just no reason to fight.
beautiful. Allowing that energy to penetrate the body, feeling that connection, knowing that you can take yourself back here anytime you want. Feel that connection again, that it always lives within you. And it is you. How does that feel?
Feels good.
Is there anything else important about this scene that we need to know?
No.
So let's close out this scene then, letting it drift away. Cece wants to understand more about her dreams of crash landing here on Earth. So drifting through time and space, allowing those memories to come forward. Be there now and tell me what you notice.
Like watching the dream like I described happen. But at the same time, it almost feels like this lifetime right now, because sometimes I just think, like, could there be a hell? Like, could it be worse? Like, isn't this the worst? Like, this sucks. Like, and then it's like maybe when I was born, like, that's what it was like, the crash land, but like in a more adult point of view. You know what I mean? Because like it's not that different. Not that different. And like maybe I was like thinking it was gonna be like it was when I had been here before, and this time when I reincarnated, I was like, whoa, they've really like fucked shit up. Like like what happened?
Okay, so it
And
was more of a metaphor.
maybe, yeah, like it was like, oh my God. Yeah, more of like a metaphor. And like because it kind of feels, I mean, it was worse in the dream, but it definitely kind of feels like what we're living through right now, of just like, could it get any worse? Like, how are we gonna survive this? How am I gonna buy $14 lettuce? Like, just like, God, like that's wrong. Like, yeah. So it's like it feels like a simultaneously timeline like type thing. Like, I don't know.
So the dream was of you crash landing into the water and feeling like, what the heck is happening here? Well, first you died that first time.
The first time died. Second time got out and was like, this place has nothing left. And maybe of like the earth too. Like she just feels like, when now being here on her, she just has like nothing left to give us.
So what was the metaphor for dying the first time?
I guess I really wanted to come here. I was willing to die. Like I knew that that was a possibility. Like when we landed in the water, it wasn't scary. We were all like, yep, this happens sometimes when you come here, you die. Like right away, you don't make it. So, and I like, none of us were upset. Like we were all just like, fuck, all right. So it's like, I really wanted to come. I did it knowing I could have died, and then still came back, got back, turned around, got back in his ship and came right back. So I'm like, okay, they're like, and then
Feels like Westworld.
I'll have to look that up. I'm not sure what that one is, but like a few weeks ago, I was like, maybe I'm just here to say goodbye to Earth. Like, because I remember being little and you get like really obsessed with certain places. Like I was really obsessed with Egypt, and like there's one little girl at school that's obsessed with Canada.
Man, please correct her.
And I'm like, you know, but like you have those places that you're like obsessed with. And so I'm like, maybe you just come back to say goodbye to some of these places. Maybe that's why I like fucking did it. And I saw Seve the other day and she's like, I'm just here to say goodbye. And I was like, that's really weird that you said that. Like, 'cause I don't hang out with a lot of people and I don't talk about this kind of stuff with a lot of people. And you just said that. And that's really weird.
So this is your lifetime that you came back to say goodbye to Earth.
I think so. Like, I was like, all right. Even
Thanks.
though thanks. I'm sorry they ruined you. Like, yeah. Yeah.
Very interesting. Okay, very good. So imagining now that you're back in the ocean, being that sparkle of light. We're going to ask this sparkle, how can Cece believe in herself more?
He needs to be here now, like be more present, like in what you're doing, because like you're just like rushing around and like nothing's getting done. Like you're not getting anywhere.
Yeah. How can she stop the toxic cycles that she feels between her and her parents?
She has to let them grow up on their own.
Yeah.
And it's sad. And they're not really doing it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm seeing like the tunnel vision of it. Like you see the issue, and then like that answer was the broadened perspective of it
Yeah.
as the observer.
Yeah. I agree. Cause it's like yeah, I had to do a lot and I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah, you have to work on your own shit. You don't want to, it's already
Yeah.
a lot, and you're like, fuck, you do, your shit. You're responsible for your stuff.
Yeah, like sweep your own porch. Like I can't come do that.
Right.
Where is all that sadness being held in the body?
I feel like in my heart, on my chest.
Yeah. Tapping in there to that sadness. What does it feel like?
Yeah, I really wish like I would have just had parents. Like I didn't really have parents.
What else does it want to say?
You didn't deserve that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sad. And
What else?
like as you know, I can see their point of it, but it's still like it really wasn't right. Like I can see why now and be like, yeah, it's really hard and it's easy to just get drunk, but like it wasn't right.
Right.
They were both. And like at one point, as much as I love my mom, she was just as fucked up.
Yeah.
You know.
Allowing yourself to feel that sadness so that you can release it. You have the higher understanding that they were traumatized and they were doing their best and all of those things, but little Cece still experienced all of that sadness. And it wasn't her responsibility to take care of everyone. And it's not her responsibility now. Just allowing that sadness. We're holding the space for you. What else does the sadness want to say?
It's just because Lauren wasn't born didn't mean they didn't love you. It just they did not know what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other feelings are there?
I feel sad. Lauren had like a lot of problems and she was always really sick.
So they spent a lot of time with her.
Mm-hmm.
Is there jealousy?
Yeah, I feel like I was jealous.
What else?
But I also feel like, yeah, I was just bummed because she was just like always not feeling good and she was just not very fun to hang out with. It's like, oh, yeah. And I feel bad because then I was like a mean big sister and like I wasn't a very ideal big sister back to her. It was just they didn't teach us how to be siblings or like be, like
Supportive.
yeah.
Well, they didn't
So
know.
there's guilt, jealousy, sadness. What else? What else are you feeling?
I wish we would have had like a better like memories and bond and like things like that rather than like I just remember being like so pissed off at her like all the time because I was like I'm gonna have to do all these chores because you're not gonna do them.
Anger, regret,
Anger,
resentment.
regret. Yeah.
Resentment.
Resentment. Yeah.
Sadness, jealousy, guilt, anger, regret, resentment. What else?
Yeah, I wish I could have like had a sister that I loved and like got to play with instead of like protect and have to like parent all the time. And then she didn't want to be like my little sister because I was the one having to be like her parent more. And
There's a lot of regret.
yeah.
What else?
I guess I wish I would have saw. I wish my mom would have like saw it. I don't know how that would have even been possible, but I'm like, just like pretty much had Satan like sitting on the couch being a fucking asshole to everyone, like Todd, but like in, Satan's just wearing Todd's costume. Yeah. So just a lot of anger there. Like, why could you let us be treated like that? And
How
not
could
do
you
anything
let that
about it?
happen? Yeah.
Yeah.
How could you let that happen and not do anything about it?
Like, did you really not see it? Or
Yeah. What else? Any other feelings there?
just very lonely.
Loneliness,
Yeah.
isolation,
Yeah.
feeling betrayed.
Yeah. Like, yeah, very turned on. Because once Lauren was born, then I had spent more, like, I was more around my dad because my mom was like with Lauren. And then I was just like, feel like I was like, thrown to the world. It's just like, there you go. And I don't know, maybe she didn't know how horrible he was and stuff, but I'm like, how could you not have fucking known?
Any other feelings there?
Just scared, like, in those times I did not feel safe.
Scared, not safe.
I really didn't want to be there. Like, I didn't want to like be in that house. I didn't want to live with them. Like, I wish Tammy was my mom, like my babysitter. And I like really, really like my mom would be like, who's your favorite mom? And I'd be like, Tammy. like when I was like little. Like I was like, no, I really wish Tammy was my mom. And I remember her asking me like, why don't you want to go home? Like your dad's home, go see him. And trying to like, because she was like a single mom and her whatever, she, you know, like wasn't around. And I was just like, but I never felt like even safe enough to her to say anything. Because he never hit us, or he never, I don't know, like it was like, how could you
You're
explain
just
that?
walking on eggshells.
Yeah, like there was no way to explain it
Yeah,
as a
there's
little
no
kid.
words. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
like gaslighting and emotional abuse.
There's
Yeah,
like
it's confusing.
you don't know what's wrong, but you know you don't want to fucking be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same again with that energy, like telling you it's okay, everything's great here, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it confuses you because you're
Yeah.
like, you see and experience something different than what they're telling you.
Yeah, and he just like made it so I never can trust myself. Like it always is
Yeah.
confusing.
Exactly. Stop trusting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Okay, we're gonna tap on these feelings. If you can rate them from 0 to 10, 10 being the biggest and most feeling in your body, what are they now?
Like a 2, where like a minute ago I was like getting hot and uncomfortable. Like,
Okay. Okay, good. So just speaking it allowed you to release it. So
yeah.
let's just do a round of tapping to release the rest of it.
Okay.
So you can tap on your legs or on your upper arms
Okay.
and just repeat after me.
Okay.
We're going to help you tap. There's a part of me that knows how to
There is a part of me that knows
Cece,
how
that knows
to
let go and heal
let go
let go
and
and
heal
heal
these two-level feelings
these
these
two-level
two-level
feelings.
of sadness,
Sadness,
jealousy,
jealousy,
guilt,
guilt,
anger,
anger,
regret,
regret,
resentment,
resentment,
loneliness,
loneliness,
isolation,
isolation,
betrayal,
betrayal,
feeling thrown to the wolves,
being thrown to the wolves,
scared,
scared,
unsafe,
unsafe,
confused.
confused,
Any other feelings there?
mistrust.
Mistrust. Very good. That part of my being
That part
that
of
part of our being
is willing to inform
is willing
to inform
the rest of me now.
the rest
the
of me
rest of
now.
her now.
It's doing so now
It's doing so now
with unlimited love,
With
unlimited
unlimited
love,
grace, and ease.
grace and
ease,
My mind, body, and spirit
my mind, body,
body
and
and
spirit
spirit,
are receiving the love,
are receiving
receiving
the
the
love,
love,
healing,
healing,
information,
information,
permission,
permission,
and deep relief now.
deep
deep
relief now.
relief now.
Take a deep breath. Keep tapping. Experience healing and insights.
Experience healing and insights.
Information transfer is now complete.
Transfer is now complete.
So be it. It is done.
So be it, it is done.
Okay. Take another deep breath. Feel into the heart and the body. Did it come down at all?
Yeah, I feel like my whole body's like vibrating.
Good. That's your energy filling in all those spaces.
It feels like when you have a really strong cigarette.
And
And you're like, whoa.
You're like the native nicotine.
Like it's been a minute.
Good. 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 Allowing for that feeling, allowing for that energy, and just relaxing into it. And asking if there's anything else that Cece needs to release today that is getting in the way of her believing in herself.
I think just, yeah, I don't need to judge myself for how Lauren turned out because I wasn't her parent. Like, I'm like, I don't need to judge my parenting of Lauren because, like, if I would have just raised Lauren, it would have been great. But there was other factors involved. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
good.
yeah,
Good.
let that go.
Let that go. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I want you to just scan through your body, specifically your throat first, scanning through your throat. Noticing any blocks in energy there.
I feel like on this side, it's like a little weird.
Mm-hmm. Tapping into that energy. What do you notice there?
I feel like it's like a little skeleton hand just trying to
Mm.
grab.
Mm-hmm. What do you do with that skeleton hand?
I just like break it.
That's what I said. I was like, to break that
Karate
shit.
chop it. Like, it just like breaks. Yeah.
Good. Making
Well,
sure
that
to,
would it makes, or I guess it kind of makes sense to me that if my dad's sending a skeleton and spiders, like, are those things that like Satan uses? You know, like, oh, you have those just at your disposal because you work together with Satan.
yeah,
You know?
exactly. Yeah. It's really not him. It's not his pure
Yeah.
self. It's that entity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because he just had a surgery and like in the hospital and stuff. So it's like he was very, available.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. How does your throat feel now?
Better.
Good. Scanning through the rest of your body, noticing any areas that feel blocked or tension, pain, stress.
I feel pretty good everywhere else.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Kara, do you have anything you want to add before we wrap up?
Just looking. I cleared out the subconscious area of like any of those programs. It would be really important to, yes, like not prioritize, but like to really highly consider taking your name off of the deed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's one. And if like keep planting the seeds of like, you're rebuilding your family, the three of you. And if you can, I know that by him getting rid of this house or something along those lines it's going to do you and your family a favor.
Yeah. I
Like for
agree.
him to grow, for him to see that they never,
Yeah. I think it was like necessary more than like
yeah,
he would have never known. And it's
yeah,
definitely hard to see somebody go through.
yeah, absolutely. And to just hold the space. I mean, like I know it's in there. That energy is in there, but he has to like let go of that hope of
Yeah.
that relationship. It's not there. There's
Yeah.
no valuing him there. There's nothing there. It's empty. And
Yeah.
they're just using him. So if he lets that place go, then they'll let him go, like, or they'll see that
Yeah.
they'll cut him off, and then he'll have no choice but to deal, and then to put all his focus on
Yeah.
his real family.
Life. Real life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like Lauren's boyfriend Anthony and I like have both like lost hope, you know, we're like, okay, no, that's not good for me. Like in a good way. Like I'm just like, no, like he has a bad mom. Like, but his mom is bad to him. But then his last time he came here, he went to his mom's, and it was so crazy because I could just see like the sub personality jumping out of him of like a little uncomfortable boy. It was like, I have
Mm.
to go to my mom's now. And I was like, no, you don't. Like, why? You live in Washington. What is she gonna do to you if you don't stop by today? You're going back to fucking Washington. Like it's, but you can, and I know I do it too, because it's like you can see like what it does to you. But I was like, if I can put boundaries, then when Anthony comes next time, I'll be like, hey, I didn't drive my dad to the hospital because it wasn't good for me. So why are you gonna go have dinner at your mom's or whatever? You know, like no, you're not going. You're staying here. We're gonna have a good time here, and you're not going and feeling terrible.
Yeah.
Like, no, you don't have
It's,
to.
yeah, it's the guilt that keeps people running in circles.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any final messages that would be beneficial for Cece today?
Be the sparkle.
And
You are the sparkle.
what does the sparkle do?
Shines. It
Shine.
shines.
Yeah, just shines. Very good. Okay, I'm going to bring you both back to your bodies now. Bringing all of your energy and consciousness back into the physical form. All of your energy and consciousness is returning now into the body. Disconnecting from all other places, spaces, lives. Knowing that this life right here and now is the most important. Anchoring fully into your body, reinforcing your grounding roots, just like that beautiful tree. Keeping your roots anchored into the earth. Feeling that wellness spread throughout your entire body. And as you come up, you will feel lighter and lighter and happier, more in sync with your soul and your purpose here on earth. Your purpose to shine bright like the sparkle. Feeling lighter and happier and happier. And as you go to sleep at night and put your head on your pillow, you will sleep peacefully and wake up refreshed and ready for a brand new day. When you wake up today from this session, you will be the happiest person on the planet and ready to start a brand new life. But before you open your eyes, you take note of the expansion in your heart and the increased depth of your wisdom and your knowing. Sending gratitude to all who participated today. The ocean, the trees, the sun, the Sasquatch. Dad. Anchoring all of your energy here and now in the present moment.